Hi, today's video and topic is mostly for the lovely women out there, but it's also great for the men to know as well. And that is on breast health and breast cancer prevention. Now, we'll know that there's been a big topic now on getting your mammograms, getting checked every few years or so. And that's great, okay? But a lot of people might not realize that there are better methods and safer methods out there, and that's thermography. Okay, now mammograms to me are going to be a thing of the past in a few years' time, because people are becoming aware that there's a lot of radiation firstly in mammograms, and there's a lot of false readings as well, where it's crazy when you look at the literature, guys. This is from the own medical institution as well, how many false readings there are, and people have to go back and then they do biopsies and so forth, and some even radiation as well. Now, thermography, to cut a long story short, can pick up cancers at their early stage before they even become cancer, around 8 to 10 years. Now, I've cross-referenced a lot of different articles, and they all say the same thing. And thermography can have up to 97% accuracy. As a matter of fact, some of the articles say that it's actually too accurate, because they saw that, when they start picking up these indications, which again, I won't go into too much detail, but you get different heat patterns, as you can see, behind me. And if it's red, it shows that there's some sort of activity happening there where your body's trying to repair itself, okay? And that shows up as red, okay? So read more about it. And this can happen way, way, way before any mammogram. Think about it. A mammogram picks up a lump, right? Now, these lumps, like it says, can take 8 to 10 years to develop. So, a few good articles there. I'll just put a couple on screen and just go through them quickly, but they're going to be more for you to read in your own time. So I've gone through quite a few articles, but I've picked 3 of the better ones, and from good sources. One, this is from Natural News. If you don't know this guy, Mike Adams, he's a guru when it comes to health and a scientist himself. And again, you can have a read through. There are only some short articles. And he talks about all this stuff pretty quickly. But just an example of one of the points which, really, really intrigued me and opened my eyes was that thermography can see cancer formation at the size of around 250 cells. And that's roughly the size of a pinhead. Mammograms can't detect cancer until they're roughly 4 billion cells clumped together. So in other words, the main point is the estimated thermography can detect, like I said before, cancer formation 6 to 10 years before. And when I cross-reference this with other articles, the same thing. Now, here's one that's basically gives both the pros and cons. And when you go through it, and they're only a short read, guys, so it's great to read through these, it said the same thing. So many people had to go back, like it said, 50% of the people, because it was false readings, especially with women under 40, because they have denser breast tissue, okay? So again, that interferes with mammograms, because, it can show up as a lump first when it's only really, denser breast tissue, okay? So it's not as accurate as it says here. And again, when you read some of these articles, it says thermography is actually, the only complaint is it's too accurate, because if you have a constant reading of that, something's wrong, like the red indication with thermography, over so many years, cancer showed up later on if they didn't change their lifestyle. So here's a good point too that they made about the radiation. Now, we have a little bit of radiation, every day, from cosmic rays, from background radiation, as it says here, from Wi-Fi's and other stuff. And it gives you an example. Dental x-rays, which people are worried about as well, it's equivalent to 1 day's radiation. That's just one bite-sized dental. It used to be a lot worse before. They've made them better, okay? But it's equivalent to 1 day. We know flying on planes, which I've made a video on that, increases the risk of cancer, enormously. And that's why flight attendants and so have one of the highest rates of cancer, which again, I made a video on that as well. But that's 3 days worth of radiation. That's coast to coast. Obviously, international flights are more. Chest x-rays, 10 days. Look at this, mammogram, 7 weeks, okay? And what's even worse, which I'll probably do another video another day, is CT scans. CT scans, especially abdominal, can be up to 3 years. Wow. Now, there's certain things that you can do MRIs, which is no radiation. So again, that's another topic. So guys, if you can ask your doctors, CT scan or MRI, if you can do either one, choose the MRI. And again, you can research yourself. And that's the same with mammograms as well. If you can do thermography. Now, here's the thing. You've got to choose a place that knows how to read them as well. And this is a good article on that. Christiane Northrup, here she is here. You look her up. She's written many books. She's had a segment on the Oprah show for many, many years on health, and she's spoken many places. Fortunate that I've actually sat through her seminars and actually got to meet her as well. She's here in the US, and learned a lot of stuff of this lovely lady as well. And if you read her articles, as it says here, you know, this is a really in-depth article, so I've attached the link there. She's totally against mammograms, and she gives you all the reasons why here, okay? And as it said in the previous article, which I'll cross-reference, studies have shown that by a tumour has grown to sufficient size to be detectable at physical examination mammography, it has in fact been growing for about 7 years, achieving more than 25 doublings of the malignant cell colony. At 90 days, there are only about 2 cells. At 1 year, there are about 16 cells. 5 years, there's just over 1 million cells, an amount that is still undetectable by mammogram. So that's what I was pointing out before. A mammogram, it's over 5 years of cancerous growth before they can even detect it. Whereas a thermograph, according to the other article that I showed before, it's picked up around 250. So, you know, about 1.5 years after, you know, cancer cells. Now, don't be afraid, guys. We get, again, I've made other videos on this. We get cancer cells every day. It's the job of our body to get rid of them, okay, before it gets into the malignant stage, because there's stage 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So we want to catch cancer at stage 1 or 2, which is completely reversible, okay? I hope that makes sense without making this video too long. That's why I'm going to provide those links there for you, so you can make an informative decision yourself. Now, again, in those articles, it also talks about if you do a thermograph, what to look for in the clinic, because there's people that can read thermographs better than others, okay? So all that information is there. I'm hoping in the future, if people do find good places with thermographs, you can share it on this site, or, you know, with other people that you associate with as well. And depending where you live in as well. I mean, I'm here in the US, obviously people might put some good thermography sites here, and some people in Australia will put some, you know, wherever you're living as well. So, you know, we can share good information. So I hope you like this. If you do, please like the videos as well. Obviously, the more likes, the more people see them, and share it with others as well that you think can benefit from this as well. Okay, see you on the next video. And as always, thanks for watching once again.